Hi all again and welcome to my channel. I'd like to thank you for being here one more time. I want to talk about several things. The first thing I want to talk about is the higher self. Um, your higher self comes from a seventh dimensional frequency. And when you start to open up your chakras as you go, you do your heart, throat, third eye, and then you have crown, etc. These are the alignments that you'll start to get. And mostly it resonates at your heart because your heart chakra is the seat of your soul. And this is what, for me, it gives you a sense of grounding and a total sense of awareness that you can't get anywhere else. Now, when you're here, right now in your throat chakra, you speak your truth. Now, truth doesn't mean that it's going to be truthful for everybody, but it's your truth and what's truth for you specifically, and maybe what you might say to about others or how you express yourself with others. So, with your third eye, you can see. A lot of times, I think I remember a few days ago in a video I had, I explained that I was in battle, so to speak, with a Draco, and my third eye brought me to the space where we had a conversation, and at the end of that video, you can tell what went on there. But essentially, each one has its different function, so they all don't activate or work at the same time. So if you're traveling, if you're moving about, if you're amongst people, maybe you'll resonate mostly from your heart chakra. If you have anything to say or you just speak, you know, doesn't mean your throat chakra is working all the time, but you have it as the tool that allows you to speak your truth. And when your third eye can hear, you can see in different realms or different dimensions. So now I'd like to talk about something, and most of the communication that I receive is generally from the angelic realm, is where I function the most, where I get most information. So the beings that I communicate with, not all, but I do get these kind of communications, and I can tell via frequency that this is an angelic realm. I say angelic because these beings that I speak of, they don't have a physical body unless they choose to have one. So you see them as not as a light or a ball of light, okay? Because sometimes, I don't know, like you're in the gym and you walk in there and you feel an energy force throughout the space of that area, and then maybe you walk to a certain area and you might see a little ball of light somewhere where it shouldn't be, and you look, and for me that experience was very personal because I choked up inside. I froze for a microsecond, and I think I said something to myself, and my voice was crackling and everything, and it was very intense, and it's not something that you go around forgetting. But with me, it was a great experience now that I understand it for what it was. So angelic beings are like that, okay? The most recent conversation that I had was very prevalent to the things that are going on right now in the universe, in the galaxy, okay? Um, Basically, we are at a point where I receive communications explaining what are the next steps in the evolution of humanity. And if you can remember, when I explained the part of the video where I had an eighth dimensional communication about a seventh dimensional, it seemed like there was a down the grapevine from eighth, seventh, and sixth dimension. So to clear that up a little bit more, the six dimensional beings that we know of, those are great at doing harvest, and every 26,000 years there's a harvest. So if you think about the responsibility that they have, and I might interchangeably say we and them because I don't consider myself separate in a way. Okay, I'm just communicating information, but as I receive it, it may just come out as we, us. I'm not saying it's me or them, but to continue and explain more, basically, the six dimensional beings have graduated to a different realm. They've completed their six dimensional experience. They're at a seventh dimensional experience. Now I'm going to talk about the higher self, and that intertwines with what I mean at a very personal level. But eighth dimensional beings said, you know what? The six dimensional beings do a great job at doing harvest every 26,000 years. And that means that you could be, and I'm going to use an example, a cousin, the Pleiades. You can be in the Pleiades, and that culture and the way that it um, presents itself is needs to evolve. So these higher dimensional, six dimensional beings that we're talking about, and they call them, we, the six dimensional beings, are tasked to be in the Pleiades and continue their role of ascending and going through cycles. I'm just going to give you an example. Could you possibly think that a civilization could do a one single cycle jump of 26,000 years, as an example here, and go from fourth to fifth dimension? It's not impossible, but it's not likely. So for millions of years, as you may be in the fifth dimensional realm, and there's levels to them, I believe that there's 11 ladder steps or something like that, and I could be wrong, and you could correct me if you'd like. But these steps are not necessarily taken every 26,000 years. Okay? So what I see here in front of me is very simply a task that the six dimensional beings must take. And they've been given the, what I feel now is that they've been given the role of going through these 26,000 cycles throughout whichever time necessary for them to bring up the Pleiades, fifth dimension. I just want to generally say fifth dimension, but really focusing on the Pleiades up as they go along, because remember, we all move as a collective. Okay? Each one of us has their part to put in here. Just like I'm sending these messages out and it's reaching out a wide array of people out there, each part of what I say talks to a different person in a different way, and it brings out those things in them, and they resonate with it. And these are the things that I want to bring out, because I feel that there has to be this one-on-one with you guys. So, since the most recent activity that we've had in the galaxy, in the universe, on YouTube, and this is the things that interest me as I watch, very simple. Basically, now that Earth and planet Earth is on a path that pretty much guarantees their existence in the world, and outside of it, they become a galactic society. We get to wake up from that sleepy dream of third dimension. So, yes, it's true. The third dimension is gone. It doesn't exist. It exists right here. This is the only place where it'll be. It'll be a program where you want to continue the processes that allow the third dimensional experience to live in. A fish has his fish bowl. Okay? The fish bowl could be the third dimension. Alright? Now, let's say that you move from a fish bowl to a fish tank. It's not exactly round anymore. Okay? Just to give you an idea. So you're moving along. We're all moving along as a collective. That's great. So I want to mention that because I received most recent communication from the Syrians, and I received the most recent communication from the Andromedans. And back in January, I had three deja vus. January 12th, 2021. So there was a rift and there was a change. A lot of good things happening. I was personally looking for something that was missing in my life then. And I took the necessary steps to get to where I am right now. So back then, the Andromedans and the Sirians and myself had a conversation about also them wanting to participate in the ascension cycles that were granted to the six dimensional beings to conduct these teachings, these learnings, these experiences where the mass collective will awaken enough through each cycle to bring them up. Because you want to go to seventh, eighth, ninth. A lot of you have a lot of questions. And believe me when I tell you that not the least interested in knowing what happens in the seventh dimension or eighth or ninth. Because if I receive information about those things and I try and word it out to you as best as possible, it's not going to make any sense to me. It's not going to make any sense to you. We got to take this one step at a time. And I don't mean like you're stuck in a place where you won't be able to go where you want to. I mean, explore the boundaries of your existence in this new realm. Step out of 3D. Welcome to fourth. Fourth is gone. Excuse me. Third is gone. We only just have fourth dimension now. So third is gone, and it's a three-dimensional pattern that we have. So it goes in threes. Okay, like Tesla once said, 3, 6, and 9. It's how this universe is constructed. It's a numerical universe, and that's how it's constructed. So let's say that I give you 4, and I said, you know what, we're going to be a galactic society. Great. I can only grant you 5 more because I can only give you from 1 through 9. I can't have a list of things to offer you. I think I might be saying that in a way you'd understand. But there's no third, then what? Fourth, fifth, and sixth. So this is why the sixth dimensional beings are coming into play right now. They're wakening up. They are resonating at their heart center, okay, at a level when they can communicate freely and have these sort of balancing energy amongst themselves. Okay, so for those that are in fourth, you're going to resonate at a different frequency that you may not understand, or maybe some consider it light bulb, one of those dimming light bulbs where it's very dim at night and you want it on like a night light, but you don't want to have it off. Okay, think about that, so going up a little bit, and you're saying, whoa, I know what this felt like, now it's just more of it. So you'll get more of the fourth, and then those are in fifth are going to get more of the fifth, and those that resonate at a sixth dimensional frequency will resonate at a sixth dimensional frequency. So I'm going to go back to saying what I explained earlier, which was the seat of the soul. So I read once before, and this was something that stuck out, and I decided to, let that thought linger. And when you resonate at the seventh dimension, you get to participate directly with your higher self. Your higher self comes down to you. And that is just another part of where you are going up. Because I believe after the seventh dimension, there isn't any more physicality, so to speak. You lose that physical part of you. You naturally choose just to be energy. And as a gift, we get a seventh dimensional gift, which is your higher self, which is where you're going to feel that you're going to resonate more in your heart center. Believe me, I mean, it's like planting a seed. It doesn't take long for anything to grow, but once you put that seed there and it starts to manifest itself positively, it could only just grow. Okay, so you're going to feel this energy expanding, 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 and It's not just taking it one step at a time, it's growing along with it. So you can meet up with the resonance that you want to be with. Okay? Now, what the Syrians and the Andromedas are saying is that they want to participate along with the Pleiadians in the project of ascending souls through the guidance of six-dimensional beings, will be which are and what the eighth dimensional being said, pretty much they said, you do this so well as a sixth dimensional being that we want you to stay as a sixth dimensional being, but we're going to gift you with the higher self so that you can have a connection still with a seven dimensional part of yourself. Okay? And you'll have a one-on-one conversation with a higher aspect of yourself. That's going to be coming forth soon. I felt a connection like that before. It's weird. It's different. It's one of those things where you're like, okay, what is this? It's just so fresh, so new, so sincere. You want to explore it. It's like you've never eaten a grapefruit, and you're like, this is great. I love grapefruit. And then you have an apple that you haven't tried, and you're like, oh, I never had an apple crisp or honey crisp. Let me try honey crisp. I never had a pumpkin. You want to try a purple pumpkin, whatever color they come in, yellow. We all know about orange pumpkins. So each new thing is a new experience, and the same likewise goes for the negativity that you feel right now. Just throwing it out there, because you're going to feel that frequency of negative, but the frequency of positive is so much better that it's an amazing experience. And sometimes you might get ahead of yourself, and we might go faster than we're supposed to in the whole thing. We might have to take a step back and say, okay, I like this experience. Let me just take one step back, live through the energies that I want to live through now, that frequency of the fifth dimensional love and abundance and bliss and those kind of things that makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside. It makes you feel like a kid again. You feel like you're a kid, like you're mature, grown, but inside you're a child. Not a child, but inside you're a kid. And it's interesting, it's amazing, it's beautiful. I can't wait for all of you to be there. And we're now participating at the fourth dimension. Fifth is, something that you feel inside of yourself. And then sixth dimension is something that's just going to be out of this world, because we still don't know what that is. But we have received the gift of a seven dimensional higher self frequency that you'll feel a connection with more often. Granted, these six dimensional beings that we're talking about said, hey, if we graduated, why can't we just go to seventh? And the eighth dimensional being said, you do this so well, stay there, continue to do what you do so well, and we're going to gift you with a seven dimensional frequency energy, so that you're not thinking, well, don't I deserve something for all the work that I've done? And that's what we're getting. Well, that's my message. I think I spoke to those that are of higher frequency. I myself feel very much fourth dimensional right now. The third dimension is gone. It's an energy that exists, but you don't have to plug into it. You don't have to connect with it. Remember, watch it as it unfolds in front of you, and just let it fade away. And if you want to anchor in fourth, great. But remember, you always want to go forward. You always want to go up. So that's my message for where I feel where I am right now. And then, of course, the previous thing that I've just said was for those beings that understood that for what it meant. And hopefully this enlightened someone. So I'd like to thank you. I actually did the video in one shot. So you guys have a great day. And I'm going to try and post things as they come along. How to work through life. But I'm glad that I can bring you content again. And then you can see, my ugly mug again. Alright, so you have a good one. Thanks for watching my video.